Hello, welcome in the new point of the French Revolution. In this French Revolution, in the event and processes, the different events which taken place in the France, we are studying through the French Revolution. Till here, you understood what changes taken place in the France, what political changes were taken place in the France. In the earlier point, you have studied the abolition of the monarchy and establishment of the republic rule. All men above 21 got right to vote, and through this voting, through this election, the convention established, and through this convention, the new republic rule came in the France. Now, my question is that the new rule was there, it was the republic rule. Then why the point is referred or said as the reign of terror? The term itself says something different. Something horrible was there. The period was horrible there. That is why this is called the reign of terror. The period in between 1793 to 1794 is referred as the reign of terror. Then what had happened there? Who had done it? And how this came in the end? May these questions came in your mind. That all answers we are going to see in this point. This is the person who made the reign of terror, Maximilien Robespierre. With the earlier point, you understood the Jacobin clubs were strong there. The Jacobin club came in a government. So this Maximilien Robespierre made this reign of terror. He came through the Jacobin clubs and came in a rule. It was his government, republic government. He was the head of this republic government. He made the reign of terror. He was actually want to bring the equality, but while bringing equality, what policies he followed, because of that policies, the era, the period became as the reign of terror. The Robespierre followed a policies of severe control and punishment. To make it strong, to bring equality, he followed the severe policies and the punishment. What kind of severe policies he followed there, we will see. All those whom he saw as being enemies of the republic, for example, noble and clergy, members of other political parties, even members of his own party who did not agree with his methods. All were arrested, imprisoned, and they tried by the Revolutionary Tribunal. The Revolutionary Tribunal was established, and through this Revolutionary Tribunal, all these people were arrested and tried. If the court, if the tribunal found them guilty, then they were guillotined. These people were guillotined. If one is found guilty, then he was sent to the guillotine. What is this guillotine? This was the guillotine. This was the device. In this way, first understand how it was working. Here are two poles you are looking. To these two poles, the blade is hanging here. One rope is here. This rope is tied to here. When it will become loose, the blade will automatically come down and cut the head of person. The head of the person was kept here. या ठिकाणी त्याचं डोकं ठेवलं जायचं आणि इथून हा ब्लेड दोर सैल केला की याचं ब्लेड यावर खाटदिशी पडणार आणि ह्याचं मुंडकं या ठिकाणी कट होणार. सो इट वॉज द वे ऑफ द गिलोटिन or guillotined. This was the punishment policies he followed in the France. That is why this period is called the reign of terror. Why this is called guillotine? The person, Dr. Guillotine, invented this machine, this device. That is why this is called guillotine. So these were the policies he followed in the France. That is why he was, or this period was referred as the reign of terror. So this was the negative part we can see there. Some modernizations also he brought in the France. Some changes he brought in the France. He means Robespierre. What changes he brought in the France? A maximum ceiling on wages and prices. Maximum wages laws and the prices. मॅक्सिमम मिनिमम जे वेजेस असतात त्याचे जे लॉ आहे तो त्यांनी आणला आणि द कंट्रोल ऑन द प्राइसेस ऑल्सो ही ब्रॉट. दॅट इज गुड. Meat and bread were rationed. The meat and bread, which was needing food in the day-to-day life, was brought in the ration on the low prices. The cost is low in the ration shops. You know that is Swast Dhanya Dukan. Then what he done? Peasants were forced to transport their grains to the cities and sell it at prices fixed by the government. The production by the peasant, it was made compulsory to the all peasant. Sell their production to the cities only, in the cities only, and at that prices which were fixed by the government. Then the use of more expensive white flour was forbidden. The differences were there in the flour. जो मैदा असतो त्याच्यामध्ये डिफरन्सेस होते, लो क्वालिटी हाय क्वालिटी. जो हाय क्वालिटीचा मैदा होता, the high quality flour was called the white flour, and it was used for the high society people, elite people. The use of white flour is also forbidden. Then what kind of bread these people will eat? All will eat same bread which was made by the complete wheat, whole wheat. That is called equality bread. Equality bread was sold in the market and it was only made. Equality was sought not only through the food but by speech and address also. He tried to bring the equality. That is, the traditional titles were monsieur, that is sir, or madam. All French men, instead of that titles, now henceforth the all men and women were called citoyen and citoyenne. These were the titles needed to adopt or need to use. The earlier titles all were abolished. So he was trying to bring the equality there. Then church were shut down and their buildings converted into barracks or offices. The property of church, the buildings of church were shut down, and that places were used for the military barracks or the offices. In this way, he tried to bring changes in the France. He was saying, I want to bring the democracy, but I want to bring the liberty. But while bringing liberty, while bringing democracy, it was needing to finish the enemies of the liberty, the enemies of the democracy. With the source D, you can understand, read the source D, then you will understand his views. Then how the end happened there, how the reign of terror ended there. Robespierre pursued his policy so relentlessly. His policies he relentlessly following, strongly, rigorously he was following. So his supporters, not only the enemies, but his supporters also, tired there. With the supporters began to demand moderation. They want to make the changes there with this reign of terror. Then he was convicted by a court in July 1794. The Robespierre convicted by the court on in July 1794, arrested and on the next day sent to the guillotine. What fate he made to the others, with the same fate, his end also taken place there. Time changes. When one comes in a position, his behavior changes. But whoever coming in a position, he should keep in mind, the position is not going to remain forever. So that can also you can understand. So this was the short period of the 2 years, but it brought many changes in the France. After the end of terror, new rule came in the France. That is the directory rules France. That point we will discuss in the next point with the next video.